Hello YouTube and welcome to another Moto vlog, courtesy of Sterling Moto. Oh yeah, we're coming at you from the Fontana Village Resort, except this time we're headed a long way down the Blue Ridge Parkway. We've got a lot of footage, 80 minutes and 18 seconds. Woo! Can't you feel it? Can't you feel it? Can't you feel it? Can't you feel it? Oh yeah, I can feel it. I got a razz in my hands and I'm ready to go. Oh yeah, it tastes good, that's for sure. I don't know if I've got too much mic in my mouth or what's going on, but I'm trying to get my noise levels up, you know what I'm saying? Get it up, get it up, get it up. Yeah, that's right. My Frisbee golf. This is us just getting out of the Fontana Village Resort and getting on the road. I think today's the most beautiful day of all the days. That's for sure. We've got the best scenery and the coolest overlooks and just like the best looking views of any of these days. There's nothing you can do about that. So this is just a morning, you know, and we're up in the mountains here. Then we head down pretty far and skip ahead, and now we're in Cherokee, South Carolina, or sorry, North Carolina, Cherokee, North Carolina. That's 19 in US 441. Now we should have made a left here. That was smart, but we decided not to for some reason. We continue straight. Whoa. Spilled a little. Then we got like the world's smallest Harley Davidson dealership. Do they have bikes in there? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe a few. Ooh, it's hard to drink and do this. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Over here we've got like a festival or competition, or I'm not really sure what it is, but it's a bunch of kids and like in the river. A lot of people in the river. I don't know what they're doing. It's kind of interesting though. I'm trying to adjust my chair here. I don't know how to do that. Huh. There was a way to make it go in and out. Oh, here we go. Now the real fun begins. We're getting onto the Blue Ridge Parkway. So this is after we've had breakfast and everything, and it's already getting to be mid-morning, early afternoon almost. Everything goes pretty good at first. By pretty good, I mean nothing out of the ordinary happens. But as we continue, we might find a little bit of miss. But as you can see to begin with, we're just climbing and climbing, going up the ridge and onto the mountains. You can already see it from there if you had looked to the left with the camera. guess what's gonna happen? Can you guess? Yeah, if you've seen this, you already know it's gonna happen, or if you were on the trip, of course. But here we go. Loose gravel. Yes, loose gravel. Usually that doesn't mean too much when you hear it said. Maybe just some gravel here or there. But in the case of this, things get a little crazy. The road becomes just like a gravel road, pretty much. Absolute craziness. I certainly, and I don't think anyone else certainly was expecting this. It would have been nice to have my 50/50 tires now, or at least some Honda K3s, but, you know, I was on the road, Pilot Road 4s, so that made this a little tough on the road-only tires. But those are very soft tires at the same time, so it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad at all. As you can see, they're repaving the road, and it goes on for a huge amount of time. I mean, they're repaving the living crap out of this road for like 50 miles or something in this stretch. Oh yeah, so one of the things I wanted to show is all the cool tunnels that they have. There is a ton of them, so you're gonna see a lot of tunnels. Get ready. Get set and get ready for that blinding light to come at you about 1,000,000 times in this video. Razzmatazz.
Huh?
Here's our first stop.
Dude, I don't, how,
Some
how are we all
overlook.
supposed
I
to
can't
pass it with
read
Gary
that.
and stuff?
Something Linkstone Rock overlook, maybe.
Whatever. On the gravel.
We stop and we're like, well, we can't really see much from here, so let's keep moving. And that's what we do. We just keep on a-trucking.
Degrees. Put your ranger on.
And we're continuing on. Yeah, it took a little break there. What are you gonna do? You can't stop me. Well, you can stop me. I stalled, but what are you gonna do? And then we're waiting for some peeps. And we're moving on. Yeah, you can see the road there. It doesn't look great. It's really rough, and it's not like solid. There's like loose gravel. There's like a layer of like loose gravel on the top of it. So that makes it not so great.
What?
This is just showing off sometimes what it takes to get everyone going. Even though you're ready, it doesn't mean everyone else is ready.
Yeah. Got a scout, man. Alright, then. Yeah, we're good. Come on.
Oh yeah. Heading to another tunnel. I don't know how many of these I like rip it through and make a bunch of noise. I don't really just I don't like rev bombing. I like going fast and making noise that way. It's more fun. It's a lot more fun. This is the next stop, I believe. Well, this one looks good, but we don't stop here for some reason. Too cloudy? I'm not really sure, but I thought that's really great view. It's an absolutely great view. Can't stop drinking this Raz. I usually don't like sours, but this one's like the right kind of sour. Something like that. You can see we're getting further up into the mountains here. We've got a long way to go. I can tell you that much. We've got clip after clip after clip coming at you for like the next hour. Oh yes, it's coming at you live a week later. This is literally being done. This take is 1 week, exactly 1 week after the recording. But again, I mean, what am I supposed to do? I'm starting to get burnt out making all these videos, you know? How am I supposed to... I'm trying to chronicle this, like, home movie style. Like, yeah, it's boring. Yeah, it's not, like, super Hollywood, but it's, like, real, you know? This is, like, what happened. And that's kind of what I'm trying to go for. So anyways, about the trip, you can kind of see our pace has been picking up a bit, and that's because the road has... the layer of gravel on top of the road is kind of like washed away on this section of road, so it's really, the road's really rough and uneven, but there's no like loose stuff on the top. It's just like really rough, so that's good grip, you know. So as we continue along, I have to wonder about my bike versus the XR. You know, on a trip like this, is the GS a better bike on the road than the XR? Sorry, I was touching the mic. I'm like picking at my finger, my cuticles. I can't help it. I'm feeling nervous. I don't know why, but I just am. Dang, look at those clouds. That's nuts. It's crazy how it goes from like nice and sunny to rain up here on the mountains, like real quick. So we were seeing that we were heading into the clouds, and now we're like in them, you know. For some reason, the leader decides this is a good time to take a look at the overlook. I mean, it's pretty cool, yellow face. At least I read that. That's Jesus, yellow face. God, I even saying that. Am I gonna get banned from YouTube for saying that? I'm sorry. I don't mean it. It's just, it's what the sign told me to do it. And of course, all you can really see is the clouds from here. So we decide to continue on. Just go out. And we are back again from another quick break. My singing is bad, and it's out of tune, and it's out of time, and it doesn't rhyme. Yeah, that's right. Are you here for my fucking singing? Charge me $1. Because no, you're not here for my singing. Uh-oh. Couldn't help but curse. Jeez, look at that view, like of the road snaking across the ridge and stuff, and the clouds. Woo. Come on, you gotta give it up for that. As you can see, the road becomes normally paved when we're in these tunnels, but at the same time, when we're in the tunnels, it's hard to see because I have sunglasses on, and it's hard to trust the level of grip because there could be like moss and like wet leaves and stuff. I believe we pull over here for some reason. He thought this was another good spot to pull over for some reason. You know, construction equipment area. It's very scenic. Very, very scenic. Man, what can I say? Should I talk about what's going on in the video, or should I start ranting and raving about the trip? I think the trip overall went pretty well. Was it perfect? No, of course it wasn't. Everyone, the big issue with the trip is that everyone wants to kind of go their own pace, and like we've got people varying in pace pretty linearly from like quite slow with being 2 up understandably, to quite fast to being 25,000 miles deep into his, super leader naked bike. And, like, everywhere in between. For me to be a pretty comfortable rider, but at the same time, trying to take it more easy most of the time. The people who are a little more timid and nervous about their own riding and down. It's just... everyone wanted to go a different pace. And that makes things pretty tricky. You can't appease everyone at once. You know what I mean? So some people are going to feel left like we're going too fast and we're pushing them too hard. And some people are going to feel like we're going too slow and we're not, pushing the pace enough. And it's pretty difficult to reconcile the differences there when people have, different desires on the motorcycle. When we get to day 5, that'll be shown as well, if I can get day 5. Showing some license plate action. Oh yeah. He's the one doing the weird walk that I had to show. I don't know what that weird walk is about, but here it is. Welcome to YouTube. You've been on here before, so... if someone finds out your address again, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. No one watches these videos. This is an hour and 20 minutes long. Like, someone's gonna watch this shit up to like 16, 17 minutes? It's just not gonna happen. Yeah, checking the phone. This is the usual startup procedure showing here. Good stuff. We got the whole crew together. That's pretty tight. You don't really get to see that in many shots where we get all the bikes together. And this goes to show you sometimes some people are slower than others. See, we're all ready, and there's a couple people, not just one, but a couple people taking a little longer, which is fine. That's just the way it goes. You got to understand that, you might be the one being held up, or you might be the one doing the holding up, right? There's always going to be someone doing the holding up until everyone gets moving. Oh yes, the boxer. I'm so tentative to get on the bike. I'm like, I don't want to sit down. It's a long trip and my butt already hurts. So, about the Sergeant seat. Is it time to review the Sergeant seat at this point? I think it is. So the Sergeant seat is pretty nice. But is it perfect? No. Does it keep your butt from hurting entirely? No. Is it a high quality seat? Yes. Does it keep your butt and your back in a decent position as long as you're vigilant about your posture? Yes. So it's really, compared to the Touratech seat, it's a million times better. The width of the seat, it makes it easier to grip when you're standing up, so it's actually a better seat for standing up. And it's a better seat for sitting down because it keeps your butt from hurting. The Touratech Sports seat is fucking a torture. Charge me $1. It's a torture device. Wow, that's a view right there. Come on. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. That's not the right thing. That's not the right thing, Sterling Moto. I'm having a little too much fun here. Just a little too much fun. And I'm almost done with my raz. I wish I knew how to sing. I wish I knew how to have rhythm. So this is the highest point here on the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's like 6,300 feet or so. It's very tall, and it's almost the tallest point anywhere on the East Coast. There's very few mountains that are as tall as the Blue Ridge Parkway is there. And we actually go to the tallest point on the East Coast before we finish this video. I won't give away what it is. You're gonna have to just watch if you want to know. At least what they claim to be the tallest point. I don't know. You know, hey, maybe I'm getting bad information. But what are you gonna do? You just gotta take it from me, Mr. Motorcycle Rider. So you can see that the road is still this like graded, really rough surface. It's not covered in gravel anymore, but at the same time it is not a smooth surface that you want to slide across. And we're still in line here. We're being led by basically the slowest person in the group. And it is what it is. We're all in line. We're all riding as a group, going at a scenic, nice pace. And I gotta admit, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not upset or put off by it, because I get to look at all the views and I get to check everything out and go at a pace that like makes everything nice and easy. Is it a little boring from a riding perspective? Yeah, but at the same time we're on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Like maybe things should be a little boring from a riding perspective, right? Like this isn't the Tail of the Dragon. This isn't, you know, a performance-oriented road. This is like a scenic byway that's just designed to like have you soak it in, you know, and just like take in the beauty of the road, the beauty of the scenery around the road. The road itself, it can be beautiful at times, yes, but it's not really like a twisty road. It's very straight and like open, and yeah, it's got sweepers, but like they're not really difficult turns or anything like that. So in my opinion, you know, this kind of pace is just right. Oh, another great view. I think there's a lake down there or something. No, never mind. It's just different colors. I hope this comes across on YouTube. Gosh darn it. Consarn it. You young whippersnappers and your streaming video. Back in my day, you had to download 6 gigs if you wanted to watch a video. No, actually, that didn't happen back in anyone's day. I'm just being ridiculous. Ooh, a little bit of a burp coming on. Ooh. So here you can see that the road's actually being pretty popularly traveled. There's a lot of cars all over the place and people and stuff. And again, that's a pretty good view. Look at those mountains there on the left. Oh, I don't know. There's just like a lot going on in these shots, and it's hard to describe everything, you know. I think all in all, it's just, this is just such a beautiful day. I'm glad we got to do it. One thing in retrospect, though, I will say, I think maybe we don't need to do the whole Blue Ridge Parkway. I know that's crazy talk. I know that like we like to do the whole Blue Ridge Parkway. That's like part of the trip. But like I don't think we need to do the whole thing. I think cutting it out into like, I don't know, like a different, cutting it out into like different parts and maybe doing some of the Blue Ridge Parkway and then coming off and then slogging along a little bit on some like back roads or like going on the highway would be more efficient use of our time. Because the whole Blue Ridge Parkway, and I think you'll see it as we go a little further, it's like, yeah, it's nice, but it's like, it's more the same except less tight. Like the best parts of the Blue Ridge Parkway are like the first 200 miles. The last 200 miles has got some really nice views and some really cool stuff. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's like not as tight as like this beginning part here. It's just not. Alright, I'm going to spoil where we go. We go to Mount Mitchell. Once you pass Mount Mitchell, everything is kind of like quote-unquote downhill. We've been to the highest point on the Blue Ridge Mountains. And it's like, how are you supposed to top that? We've done all the really tight stuff. Maybe we should just like make some hay instead of like staying on this road. I'm not trying to complain. Don't get me wrong. This road's really nice, especially now. Look, the road's actually got a center line and everything's good. I didn't even notice. By the time the center line came back, we were so used to it not being paved properly that it was like, whatever. And now that the road's paved properly, everything's like gravy. As you can see, our pace is still pretty slow. We're going like the speed limit, maybe a little faster. We're not really getting blocked by traffic, which is good, but when we are getting blocked by traffic, we're not exactly making aggressive passes. We're just sitting behind the cars. That sort of looked like me ripping it through that tunnel. I hope that sounded like it. I hope it sounded like it and it wasn't just some boring. That's Mount Pisgah or Pigsaw or Mount something. It sounds terrible. But there we are. You can see it straight ahead, I believe. One of the tallest mountains, you know, on the eastern seaboard. You know, east of the Mississippi. Very cool stuff. North Carolina is just such a cool place. Especially western North Carolina. Yeah, here we got another tunnel. You know, nothing too special. This is a curvy one. Don't see myself really going along. I think it's going to be hard to find stuff to talk about for this whole video, isn't it? I mean, we still have almost an hour left, like 50 minutes, 53 minutes left of talking. Ooh. And I mean, it's going. I mean, we got a lot of clips, right? We're going from like clip to clip to clip. They're like an average of what, like 30 seconds to a minute and a half, maybe 2-3 minutes long tops. And it's still crazy. Like, things are just changing. The road's changing. The weather conditions are changing. The traffic situation's changing. Look at this. It's starting to rain now. Look at this. Look, he rides off the road. Going down. So we're headed looking for a vape. Look, I'm not trying to talk smack about anybody, but we're doing all this for one person. And that is what it is on these trips. You know, someone needs something on this trip. We're going to go off out of our way, all of us, together, to get this item for this person. And it is what it is. I mean, it's in my opinion, good stuff, because we got to ride on some really cool roads here. I really enjoyed this road. Like, you can see that this is so much more technical than the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's crazy. We got the tar snakes everywhere. We got water on the road. We got the low tree cover. Really tight, narrow road. Oh, man. Good stuff. Then we got, you know, you got cars stopped in the middle of the road to look at waterfalls. What's that all about, right? What's that all about? So we finally reached the bottom of the mountain, and we head down towards the gap. I mean, we're heading towards something. I don't know what they think they're heading towards, But I guess they see a gas station and they're like, let's pull over and regroup and figure out what the hell's going on. And that's what we do. And we realize we really shouldn't be here. We shouldn't have got off the mountain. And we should have stayed up there on the Blue Ridge Parkway for like another like 25 miles. Whoops. So now we are heading back up the mountain. Stuck behind a guy in a truck, but thankfully he pulls off and everything's cool. So now we get to have a little bit of fun going up the mountain, following behind a Corvette on a nice twisty true mountain pass road. It's good stuff, man. This is like Initial D come to life, at least for a little bit. And you know we're slow. Come on, you know we're slow. It's not like I'm fucking Takumi or whomever. These other motherfuckers charge me $1 are. But we still get to have some safe fun, you know? Like going at a reasonable pace. And getting to have a little bit of fun and testing our skills a little bit, you know? Proving to ourselves that we can go like the distance, that we can go the speed that it takes, you know, to have a little bit of fun. Now, you know me, I'm not exactly the kind of guy to keep right on the butt of the vehicle in front of me. So, like, I'm of course leaving a little gap to the Corvette. Especially because I know he can stop so much faster than me. So if anything were to happen, I can use him as like a shield or like as a buffer. And that works great as long as I keep a buffer between myself and him. So, you know, that's really all there is to it there. As you can see, I mean, even my GS is very capable on a road like this. I don't have to push very hard to keep up with him, and he is, you know, from what it looks like, kind of actually going, not going for it, but like actually going a little bit, you know what I mean? We just get to have a whole lot of fun for a little bit of time, and then of course, in pure real-life mountain road fashion, all the fun comes to an end because of safety, because of courtesy, and just because of, like, road laws in general, right? You can already see me sitting up. I see it happening. Yep, there's a car. There's nothing we can do about it. We get stuck behind them for the rest of the run up the mountain, which is like a lot. It's a real damn shame, but it is what it is. We had a good bit of fun there, heading up the mountain, and now we're back on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Do a little bit of a tunnel, and then continue it on. You can see how timid I am in tunnels that have curves in them. It's pretty funny. You can see how, again, I don't like keeping really close gap to like a car, especially a performance sports car that can stop like quickly.
So, man, and like look at the views. That's the thing about this. If you go too fast, you run out of view so quick. Whereas if you go a little slower, you can look over and just like soak it in like so nicely. As you can see, the Corvette stuck behind a car, and we got a nice little tunnel to go through. And we're back, yeah, we're back, following a Corvette. That's right, I ran out of beer, I had to re-energize.
by getting up, walking around, and grabbing myself a new brew. Now, I'm no disc jockey, but I'm trying to, you know, put on a little radio show here. Isn't that what this is? You know, narrating my own video, kind of like doing this radio broadcast, right? Like the video is an ancillary product, or maybe the audio is the ancillary product, but either way, the two things are kind of on a tangent from one another, right? They kiss each other in our, you know, X-dimensional space, and then they continue on their own branch without ever really like hitting each other for real. And maybe that happens more than one time. It's like this crazy network, this crazy force between the video and the audio that keeps them from colliding. What am I even saying? This crazy force that keeps video and audio from colliding. I think the Raz is starting to freaking take effect, you know what I mean? That's all I can say about that. Here we got a little bit of car passing action. It's usually how it goes. You come up quick on the guy in front of you when you're passing a car. Now they turn off to get their product for real. That's where they should have turned off in the first place. So we continue on down the Blue Ridge Parkway. The unnumbered road. Right? I mean, the Blue Ridge Parkway doesn't have a number, as far as I'm aware. It's kind of a weird thing, right? Every road's got a number, except for this one. This is like a federal scenic road, so you're not supposed to take it to like get places. Except, of course, we are taking it to get places this day. So here we pull over. This is like the first overlook after the turn off. Just taking our time, having a good one, you know, waiting for our friends to catch back up. It actually doesn't take them very long at all, which is awesome. So pretty much it's just like that mistake cost us all that time, but it still yielded a good bit of fun coming up the mountain there, doing about half the mountain at like a nice good pace. So now we were talking about it, we're letting our buddy who's the fastest, we're letting him go way ahead. Just let him take off, and then I'll go next. And then the slower guys, who are like my pace, will go with me. And then the guy who's 2 up in the Corvette will go in the back. So that's our plan for the rest of the day, really. With that said, I think it's time. Oh yes. It's time for an Old Ox Black Ox. Look at that view, come on. That's what the Blue Ridge Parkway is all about right there. Just like the mountains. Just seeing those mountains. Hearing me bash my can into the microphone. What am I supposed to do? I can't. I don't know. I'm trying to figure everything out here. I'm not a disc jockey. I'm not a movie person. I'm just doing this as like a diary to myself. You know what I mean? Instead of writing it down, like going, "Dear diary, blah 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 blah. This is how I feel. This is how I blah blah blah." This is like. This is me doing this and just talking about how I feel and talking about what's on my mind, you know. We got a lot of biker groups, but you'll notice the bikers that you see on this road are cruisers, and I think that's for good reason, because this is a cruising road. Like, you really don't want to go super fast on it or anything like that. Just want to take it easy, have a good time. Like you can see, it's not the most technical road. It doesn't require like a huge thing. So now, okay, I'm making a stupid pass. I don't know if I should be doing that, but I am. I did it. I can't argue against that. I made the pass. Went pretty quick there too. But they're, you know, going super slow. I'm trying to keep up with my friend at least a little bit, you know, maybe so he arrives at one time and I arrive only a couple minutes later and not like a ton of minutes later. But see, then we got like 25 zones. What are you supposed to do about that? But look at the scenery. I mean, 25, who cares? This is like so beautiful. I just can't get over it. It's just what an amazing road should be. This isn't a driving road. Now, see, this is where Top Gear gets it all wrong. You know, I mean, everyone, I think, remembers the Top Gear special where they come to the Blue Ridge Parkway and they realize the speed limit's 45 miles an hour. And it's a federal road, and they're going to get in a lot of trouble if they show themselves speeding on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And, like, yeah, I get it. But this isn't the road to speed on. See, my friend's going ahead and speeding, and he was playing with the KTM. That's what he said. He was playing with the KTM. He was trying to stay ahead. And he went into a left-hander too hot, and he went onto the grass. You know, and that's just like, you're playing with your life when you do shit like that, man. You're playing with your life. It's one thing to pass someone on the double yellow line and come nowhere close to hitting another car. It's another thing to go so fast that you end up running off the track, or the road, I should say. Oh, it's not a track, it's a road. You end up running off the road like it was a track and going into the grass. I mean, you're lucky that the grass was smooth and even. I mean, if you look at the shoulders on these roads, they are pretty nice. But seriously. So now we continue it on. We're getting close to Mount Mitchell, which is where we're headed. I think it's that peak that you see up there on the left. Like 6,700 or like 7,000 feet. I don't know the height. I've never actually climbed to the top. I've only gone to the parking lot. I don't need to go to the top. I didn't achieve anything. All I did was rode a bike up here, you know? And you can see it like raining in spot. Oh my gosh. Come on, you gotta give it up for the just sheer beauty that's being displayed right now, like from this road. It's just unbelievable. I know people don't like to show the whole Blue Ridge Parkway, but that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to show like the highlights of the Blue Ridge Parkway. There's just so many of them. They're all over the place. Another ill-fated pass across the double yellow. Yeah, definitely. I scared the crap out of that guy probably. He's like, wait, now there's a motorcycle behind me? What a bunch of dipshits. That's how you get killed. Oh my god. I'm trying to get ahead, but it's just nothing I can do. There's just nothing I can do. We're back from another break. I mean, we only did a few minutes, but it's break time again. Getting messaged on Discord. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to talk. I'm going to take breaks. I'm going to try to split this up. And keeping, you know, thought continuity between the different takes of this video is like impossible. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm back from a break, even though I can kind of like play it off technically. So now we're here on Mount Mitchell State Park, heading up the mountain. This is another like untechnical, kind of like easygoing road. A lot like it's a lot like, you know, the Blue Ridge Parkway. So So that's all we're really doing. Climbing up this mountain, going up to like the highest point in North Carolina pretty much. Or the highest point, you know, east of the Mississippi, I think. It's pretty cool. That it's like so easy to climb up here. It makes you wonder about some of these other mountains like Mount Washington. Like how hard can that be when this is like so easy? Just makes you wonder. At least getting there might be, for someone in Virginia, getting there might be somewhat hard. See how we blew by that sign? Yeah, because we're doing 25 right now. This is totally 25 miles an hour that I'm going right now through this state park. Or federal park, or whatever this is. Oh, too much fun, man. I was having too much fun on this day. Good pace, bad pace, whatever pace, man. I got to at least go my pace a few times, and that's all I really want. And of course, going the pace you want to go, you catch up with cars quick. Now we're headed back down the mountain. We stopped at the parking lot at the top. There's nothing really much to see up there. And now we're headed back down. If you wanted to see something, I showed it on my Facebook. I don't know. I didn't really catch anything cool on the camera because it's so cloudy the whole time. So the GoPro doesn't really show off anything tight, which is really a shame because the scenery up here is unbelievable. But now we're headed back down. We're going to the restaurant. Yeah, and just showing off. I mean, the Corvette goes at a pretty decent pace, so we're getting to have a little bit of fun on the mountain. You can see that nice little biker group there. Pretty tight. There's just like lots of bikers. That's one thing that's really great about this area is that you do see like the percentage of people on motorcycles is actually pretty high. It's almost like 30%, I would say, of the vehicles are motorcycles. That's not true. Maybe 10%. Like 10% of the vehicles are motorcycles, which is pretty tight. So it's like still like 1 in 10, you know, if there's like 100 cars and then 10 bikes, you know what I mean? Or 11 bikes, 100 cars and 11 bikes, you know what I mean? Something like that. It's really cool. So you can see we're still really high up here. We're on Mount Mitchell still, but like we're headed down the mountain towards the restaurant, the Mount Mitchell restaurant. So we went to the restaurant. The food was actually pretty good. For what you'd expect from a Mount Mitchell restaurant. I mean, no offense to the people who work there, but like, come on, you can't get the world's best ingredients up here. So what are you supposed to do? Anyways, we continue back down the mountain, having a good time. I'm getting to actually go my own pace, which is nice, so I'm showing like a longer clip here of myself. Just going my own pace, you know, having a little bit of fun. What I consider to be fun. So, like, am I going that fast? No. Am I taking the world's tightest lines? No. But I'm kind of being, like, at the same time, like, sort of quick, and, like, sort of conservative at the same time. It's like a balance, right? I'm trying to achieve the balance where I'm going like as fast as I can go while still being safe. That's the goal I'm trying to achieve. And I don't know if that's a possible goal. I think you're always going to outrun your safety, right, when you're out here on these roads. You're always going to be going faster than what is perfectly safe because you're going faster than your stopping distance from your sight lines. You just are. That's what it takes to go fast, is outrunning your sight lines and then reacting to the changes in the road ahead of you. Either that or memorizing the road and hoping nothing bad jumps out in front of you. Those are the only real two strategies you can have. you know? So what does it take? I mean, it's a brutal game is what it is running fast, going quick. And that's what my buddy's doing on this road, and it's just not something I really agree with. I like going at a bit of more moderate pace. But now we're back on the road. Everything's looking good. I'm just not complaining about anything, you know. Everything's good on the trip. It's just that, again, when it comes to pace, everyone's got their own idea about what they're willing to do. You know what I mean? How fast they're willing to go. And I'm not saying that, like, being a little more aggressive and putting a little more risk on your plate is the wrong call. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm trying to get at. What I'm saying is that, like, for me personally, with my bike and my skill set and my level of desire to make it home at night, this is where I've arrived. You know, this is where my riding has come. So now we're back up on the mountain. Well, we've been back up in the mountain, but this is just like, look at this. It's like the sky. We're just up in the sky going into this tunnel. Just nuts. It's so beautiful. I can't get over it. I could watch this again and again. This is probably going to be like my favorite day of footage. That's why there's so much. It's just like my favorite day of footage here. I mean, what needs to be said is very little. And I'm just talking, I don't know why I'm just talking, because I've had a bunch of beers, right? On a nice Saturday afternoon. And I want to make this video and make it cool, because I really like this day and I really appreciate the route setup. And that was a stupid move. Come on, you got to give that to me for being a freaking idiot. Right there. Now that could have ended my day so fast. If that guy was turning left, which he was, if that guy was turning left and didn't see me, that could have ended my day so fast. That could have hurt me or killed me. And I'm really lucky that he saw me and did not make that left turn. For sure. That's 100% on me. 100% a big mistake. Probably the biggest mistake I made on the entire trip was right there. And that's what I like showing about these videos, is that, like, everyone makes these mistakes when they ride. And the faster you go, the more often you're going to make mistakes like that. You're going to pass people at inopportune moments where, like, they're trying to do something like make a left or make a right, and you're passing them because it's like a nice moment for you. But really, it's a damn, man, look at that view. It's a dangerous moment to be passing in general. Just such a nice view. My. Oh, I had like a pepper stuck in my mouth. That was delicious. It's been marinating. Oh, yes. What am I saying? I just can't believe I made this whole mini-series. I mean, I'm showing off detail. This is like not a movie. This is real life. This is what it actually looks like going through these mountains. You know what I mean? I'm not skipping over the bad stuff. I'm showing you, like, bit by bit what it takes to get through these mountains. And yeah, I am skipping over sections of video, but again, I'm showing you the overarching theme and the idea, like, compressed. Like, Yeah, this is an hour 20 minutes, but this is like the level of concentration it takes. It takes you like a full hour and 20 minutes of like full, perfect concentration, so to speak, to get through all this. So does that mean the Tail of the Dragon takes less concentration? Maybe it does, and maybe it doesn't. It doesn't in the sense that you just know the road's going to be crazy all the time on the Tail, and that you have to be on your toes 100%. That in a weird way, that's like kind of comforting and kind of like soothing, because you know that like the road's always going to be super aggressive, and that you just go at it, and you're not going to find these gentle, wide open corners like you're finding right here on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And of course you can see it's raining now. Like that's a theme for this trip, right? Tons of rain. But that's okay. Nothing wrong with a little bit of rain, really. Oh, yes. Little burp. It is what it is, right? The grossness. That's like my number 5 for September. No, I'm sorry. August 5th. This is an important part of the video right here. That was the first like wooden fence that you can see like on the road, at least that I could find. And those wooden fences become more and more prevalent as we continue along the road. And those wooden fences seem to denote like private, non-federal land. And for me, as that private, non-federal land becomes more prevalent, we start running the roads that are more boring because they become more like municipal roads. Which is such a shame on the Blue Ridge Parkway, right? We're running into all these municipal roads that are just boring as hell. So, again, I think this plays into my idea that, like, around this section, so you see how, look at all this picket fence. It's, like, flat. This is, like, flat land. What the hell are we doing? Why are we going along this, like, 2-lane country road along flat land? And I think that's the problem with my route, too. I'm going to critique myself from the beginning. If we go back to days 1 and 2, you'll see a lot of flat riding along roads like this. And, like, I don't know, man. I don't know what the right answer is. I think I need to go over it, and I think we can make a really, really sick route. Something that might even be worth going like for on the way and on the way back. Could be wrong. I could be wrong. Could be wrong about that. I'm just brainstorming aloud, and now I'm kind of starting to think about it, and of course thinking and talking at the same time doesn't coalesce so well for me. So like now I'm just sitting here thinking instead of talking like I should be doing, since I'm recording a bloody video. See me ripping it there on the GS, making some waves. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. So this is another interesting moment for me. We're stuck behind some guys that are pretty slow on bikes, and notice there's separation. Like, they're not one group of bikers. It's like a bike and a Spider and a bike and a Spider. You can't really see the front two, but it's another bike and another Can-Am. So I go to pass, right? And by the time I start to catch up with the guys in front, it's already over with the passing zone. So I have to get in between them here. Either that or I can pass them on the double yellow, but it's like... This is a weird thing for me. Like, it's... When I was on the road, I felt like I was trying to be a good influence to these guys. So I wasn't trying to pass them in like an illegal zone, you know what I mean? So what that pass I just made was illegal, yes, but at least it was like when the line was dashed, you know what I mean? Yeah. Does that really matter? I don't know. At least the line was dashed and I had a good chance of not hitting anything. You know what I mean? I can at least go there. Now this is my favorite part. This is maybe the longest clip on this whole thing. But there's a good reason for that, and this is because this is like when you hear about the Blue Ridge Parkway or read about the history of the Blue Ridge Parkway, the most ridiculous, expensive part of the Blue Ridge Parkway is these bridges. Like these bridges, like this right here, this bridge here cost millions and millions and millions of dollars to make. Look at the length of it. Look at the length of this bridge. It's almost like a half-mile long. And look how it snakes around. It doesn't touch land. It just goes across this dip of this mountain. And you can see another bridge. I can't keep composed. It's like I'm looking at celebrity in the face. And the celebrity is, you know, the earth itself. You know, I hope one day someone watches these videos and at least can appreciate some of it. I mean, I know I'm not being poetic. I know I'm not like a writer. I know I'm not, you know, someone with true talent or meaning behind his words, but at least I'm genuine in what I'm saying. I'm not BSing or just trying to come up with stuff for the sake of getting likes or subscribes. I'm just trying to appease myself and appease my own ego, you know? You gotta appreciate this. This kind of gets me. I was getting right to that right when it happened. Look at the view. You're gonna discount that view right there. That's like the best view on the entire trip, and you're gonna discount it to go fast and get a little jolt of adrenaline. It's like, come on, man. We had it. We were right there, and you even made it so like I felt a little uncomfortable and I wasn't paying as much attention to the view as I wanted to. I might have even stopped here. This is where we should have stopped. It kind of pisses me off because this is like it, man. You get after Mount Mitchell, you get after this, and it's all downhill from here. Like, both literally and figuratively, you're going downhill after you get to this point. And it's just a shame. So we continue on, and this is, you know, your regular Blue Ridge Parkway, passing on the double yellow like a jackass. What are you gonna do? Maybe it encourages these people to get the hell out of the way of the Corvette. Well, I can only hope. It probably doesn't. And of course we get stuck behind another car. That's a lot of what I show, is that you feel all this freedom right out here on this road. and it's great. I wouldn't say exhilarating, but it's like relaxing. It's like free. You just feel free. And then you run into these cars, and like you don't feel so free anymore, because they are always, when you run into somebody, they by definition are going slower than you. So you always end up being held back. So now we exit the road to get some gas. This was a bit of a mess up. We all did end up meeting up. One of our group members, I won't say who, got a bit of a ticket, a warning for a 65 and a 45. I don't think the cop had active radar. They said they did, but I don't know. Something about the cop's story didn't hold up, and you know, they're people too. They're just trying to get their stuff, and he couldn't quite get what he wanted, so he got a little upset and pulled over and gave a written warning. Because what are you going to do, contest a warning, you crazy person? I mean, you can totally do it, but at the same time, it gets you into the system, and it shows that maybe you're the kind of person that speeds every now and again. But it is what it is, you know. Cops, I think, are less likely to pull over bikers when there's car drivers going the same speed. Because car drivers are less likely to run than motorcyclists, I think. So now we're heading back. Everyone regrouped, and we all talked about what we were going to do. The faster people headed off first, slower people heading off second, and then the slowest people heading off third. And then we're all just going to go our own way, so to speak. We're all going to go the same way, and then we're going to meet up again and continue on for like the last stop of the trip. We're trying to get close, but at the same time we have tons and tons more distance to cover. And that was one of the problems with the day, is that we just stopped and stopped and stopped, and I didn't really show that much on this trip, was all the stopping we did. I just glossed over it. And if that's what it was, like a quick stop, it would have been fine, but we didn't make quick stops. And that put us into this position that you'll see at the end, where it just gets super dark really fast. And like, I have to show it. I have to do a fast forward. I know that the fast forward effect really sucks, and it makes you dizzy, and it just skips over things when it's on the helmet. It really, like, the fast forward effect is best on a fixed mount. Like if the camera was on like the crash bars there on the right or the left, that would be a perfect camera mount for like a sped up view. But at the same time, that's all I have, man. I can't do multiple views. I don't have the resources yet to figure all that out. Man, we're making it, man. An hour, 8 minutes in. This is like the longest stint yet, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I want to keep recording. I want to keep talking. If you all have been listening so far to this day 4, I really appreciate it. This is the day for me that really defined the trip. It wasn't like the fastest. Was it the fastest day? No. Was it the most exhilarating day? No. But like, looking at the footage, it's just so beautiful. The Blue Ridge Parkway is just so beautiful, and going over this footage has just been such a treat for me that this might be my favorite day on the trip. It was just an adventure. I have an adventure bike, and today was an adventure. Adventures have to be imperfect. I think that's what it is. You can't have an adventure that's imperfect, or that is perfect. I'm sorry. You cannot have an adventure that is perfect, like a perfect adventure. That's crazy. Things have to go wrong. Things have to take longer than they should have. You know what I mean? You have to work harder than you thought you were going to have to work. That's the only way to have an adventure. It's the only thing that makes all of this fun. If you just do it, if everything happens the way you expect it, then you're not having a great time. And that's actually what's been a great theme of this trip as a whole, is that it's been unexpected. The weather has been completely unpredictable. We've gotten rain, we've had sunshine, we've had heat, we've had cold, we've had everything. We've had traffic, we've had wide open roads with no one for miles. We've just had everything, and that's what makes this such a great trip. It's a trip that lives up to the name of these motorcycles, the adventure motorcycles. So I'm going to say right now, and I think us guys with adventure motorcycles had the best time, because we were on bikes that feel okay at any speed. That's like slow. Feel okay at any slow speed. Yes, at 160 miles an hour, my bike can't go that fast. But at 60 miles an hour, my bike feels so good. At 40 miles an hour, my bike feels so good. At 35 miles an hour, I feel great. It just, at any of these speeds, it just feels good. And it really makes these types of bikes stand out over their more sport-oriented counterparts, the naked bikes. It makes me think that honestly the Tuono is the way to go. Is it the fastest bike in the category? No. In fact, it might be the slowest because of the way it handles. But the reason it handles the way it does is because of the ergonomics, the comfort level. So you're trading speed for comfort. So that might make the Super Duke the way to go, and make the Tuono the way not to go, because it's the most uncomfortable. Now we're catching up. Now we're getting to the part I wanted to talk about. So you can see it's getting dark. We caught up to my buddy. We're at Bluff Mountain. I love that Bluff Mountain. This is
Righty.
You know something, Mr. Turd Bucket? You know, you can call Bluff Mountain what you call Bluff Mountain, because I know you know how to play some poker. So this is a good stop for you, man. It's named well. I hope this brings you good luck in the future.
You still there?
Or either that or it's an ominous sign, man.
Oh, I heard a weird noise.
I would say what I would do is be careful. Try to calculate your decisions and not do anything too irrational.
I don't know.
But then again, that's always what I have to say, right? What am I, some Chinese fortune cookie? We're heading out again. This is like our last stop, and this is where things are going to get fast forwarded. So what I'm trying to show with the fast forwarding, I'll just start with it here. It's that I want to show the transition from light to shadow. Like how it just gets darker and darker and darker and darker and darker and you can't see. So now we're just watching it as the darkness approaches. It's just like metal to me. I love metal music because it just shows that like impending sense of doom. Like we're marching on a dead-end road and there's nothing we can do about it. We're just continuing on, and we have to go. We have to get where we're going, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's just getting darker and darker and darker, and there's just nothing we can do about it. I'm trying to be intense. I'm trying to be serious. It's like impossible. It's not happening as quickly as I thought, actually. This is kind of interesting. It goes to show you, it happens kind of slow. it's getting dark, and it's getting dark. You know what I mean? We're not skipping anything. We're just going at 10 times speed, 1,000% speed. So we're going, this is 10 times faster than normal speed. And that's what I'm trying to show, just like how quickly it gets dark. And you can see, it doesn't get dark that quickly. It takes a while. Like, you can see it coming. Like, at this point you should know, like, oh my god, hey, it's gonna get dark fairly soon, but like we have a little bit of time, but we need to get off and like get onto the highway. But that's not what we're doing. At this point you can actually see me running my high beam headlights because they are very good, and I'm really worried about deer. That's my big concern at this point, is deer jumping out. I know I had seen a few at this point already, and there's more to come. They're everywhere. Once the forest opens up into the once the forest opens up into like the fields and the meadows and stuff, there's just deer everywhere. The bastards. I mean, it sucks to hate another life form, but like, deer kill motorcyclists. They're like our natural born predators. They kill us, man, and how can I not hate the thing that kills me? Ugh. Saying it out loud makes me feel like such a piece of shit. Charge me $1. Oh man, now we get stuck behind this guy. Oh jeez. This is going to be painful to watch even at 1,000%, I think. Oh wait, no, this is a Jeep. He pulls off. He's a good guy. He's nice. So now we get back on the road and we start speeding up. You can see the pace increasing even on 1,000% speed. But like, what are you supposed to do? That's a pretty cool like road or aqueduct or something back there. Now we get stuck behind this guy. This guy is painful to watch, man. It's like, now it's getting really dark, right? You can see like how in some places it's sort of light, and in some places it's really dark. And that's pretty much what's happening. It's getting darker and darker and darker. We have no road lights, we have no other cars, we have no buildings, we have nothing to light up the sky. It's just us and our headlights. And this scares the crap out of me. This was the scariest part of the trip by so much for me, because if a deer were to jump out, we just wouldn't see it. And it'd be so easy to run right into it. And there's nothing we can do. There's just nothing we can do at all. And just all we can do is hope and pray that everything works out. I gotta admit, this looks pretty cool. This looks really cool sped up. You can kind of see the night sky in the background and all this stuff, and it's just like unbelievable. My friend's asking if it's really 80 minutes long. Yes, it's really 80 minutes long, bro. And I do talk for the whole thing. Look at this. I talk for like the whole thing. I don't even know how I did this. Just like too much alcohol, man. Too much alcohol. No one's gonna be able to watch this. It's just too ridiculous. Why would anyone watch this? Why would anyone watch this video? But at the same time, I think it's a good genre of video. I think this video belongs in its own genre of just long form, self-recorded trip videos of people just having a good time, showing off where they've been and just being like, look, this is what it looks like and this is what it's like in this area of the woods, man. I wish there was more videos like this for me to watch. And I think the only other vlogger that does this is like Sean Smoak or something like that. He does some long form videos that are pretty cool. But I don't know much beyond him. Now we're getting real close. This is real close. We're just about at the hotel. We're on 77. It's like this variable speed zone. That's why the lines are so crazy. And man, I want to thank you. If you've watched this video this far, I really do want to thank you. You're an amazing person for just giving my id the time of day. It's a cool thing, and I hope this teaches you something or two about how I like to ride and what I think riding should be. I want you to think about your own self and to think about your riding.